Well, the Nasdaq and S&P rocketing to all-time highs, and if you were worried about the Dow, don't. The big board has held when it had to, and a trading range suggests that the next test is going to be 20,500. Meanwhile, steel stocks got a big boost from Donald Trump's first executive order of the day. Construction of that Keystone pipeline. And by the way, while discussing the possible 28,000 construction jobs, the president got to the critical issue of using our, quote, own pipes like we did in the old days. President Trump's mandate to the Commerce Department to maximize the use of American steel in Keystone and Dakota is huge. It's significant because this is an industry that saw imports gobble up 26% of third-quarter domestic consumption. As a result, 30% of our factories weren't used. You know, last year in the first quarter, no, you go back to 2015, the first quarter, imports were 33% of domestic consumption. So maybe that 522% tariff that President Obama levied against Chinese steel, maybe it was working. President Trump also, of course, discussing streamlining permits. He wants to slow these waiting times, crunch them down, expedite environmental reviews and approvals for all these key infrastructure projects. That news sparked an eruption in energy construction names. The big question now is, are we on the cusp of a renaissance in America? You know, upon exiting this morning's meeting with Donald Trump, Mark Field, CEO of Ford, shared his excitement for, quote, renaissance in American manufacturing. Now, remember, Mr. Fields was once a very vocal opponent of President Trump. He pointed to the decision to pull the United States out of that Trans-Pacific Partnership, also Trump's focus on better tax policies and fewer regulations as a basis for a manufacturing rebirth. You know, of all the artwork created during the Italian Renaissance, few are as impressive as Lorenzo Ghiberti, The Gates of Paradise, a pair of gilded bronze doors installed in Florence upon completion. Now, each wing contains 5 rectangular relief scenes from the Old Testament using revolutionary techniques. The question right now for everyone, and maybe you can tweet me and tell me, is America on the verge of its own renaissance? Are we opening the gates to prosperity, back to a time of preeminence? I would say that the markets are saying loud and clear the answer is yes. By the way, after the close, Alcoa and Seagate moving significantly higher, which means we could have some industrial and technology leadership. Overall, it may be time to start believing.